We can't have y'all be so quiet, can we? So, there may be a team out there peacefully drifting along that may be holding the power to approximately 15,000 points. Welcome, Anchored Souls. You guys are stuck with me for the week. I know, but I'm not your guys' friend this week. Because, after all, the sharks do be swimming. So, I put all of your guys' prompts onto a spinner wheel, and I have spun the wheel. And we have come up with your guys' bonus prompt, which is mixed media. I really was struggling with this prompt when they were first released to us, because, like, I don't know what to put for that. I do enjoy books with mixed media, but I was uncertain if I actually had any arcs or any books on my immediate TBR that fit the exact prompt, mainly because I like to go into all my books blind. However, I heard through some grapevines that one of my arcs does in fact fit for this, and it is You Are the Detective, The Creeping Hand Murder by Maureen Johnson. I haven't read anything by Maureen Johnson. I have quite a few of their books on my TBR. I just don't physically have any of them. I have them all saved on my Libby app. But this one really caught my attention back during Kooky Mayhem when Jessie from This Kiwi said that this one was available as a read now, and she got it. And I've heard that she really liked it since then. So I'm kind of excited. It's not yet published. It's not being published until September 16th here. But I thought we would just go into this one a little bit. November 1933, London. 7 people received mysterious letters. Someone knows their terrible secrets. They are summoned to a posh townhouse where one is stabbed right in front of the others, but somehow no one saw a thing. Can you help Scotland Yard solve the mystery? Dear Detective, surely you have seen the papers and read about the murder of the American novelist Roy Peterson, stabbed while in a room with 6 other people, and yet no one went near him or saw the murder occur. The crime is so devious, so logistically impossible, that it seems to have been committed not by a person, but a disembodied hand. I must confess that we are at a loss. Who wrote the poison pen letters that lured these 7 people to this deadly gathering? What do a poet, an earl, an actress, a cook, a telephone operator, and a Lothrier have in common? And how can a man be stabbed in a room full of suspects when none of them could have done it? We have had our best people on the case, Detective, and we still can't make heads or tails of it. We are giving this case file to you. Can you decipher the clues, decode the witness statements, and identify the murderer? You are our last hope. Can you help us crack the case of the creeping hand? Yours truly, Detective Chief Inspector of the Metropolitan Police. So, this is a mystery thriller that it's labeled on Goodreads as both adult and young adult, but I guess we'll find out. I'm kind of right up this alley with this. One of my favorite board games growing up has always been Clue, so this is just giving Clue vibes, and I'm so excited to dive into it. I don't think it's super long either. Okay, don't give me a page number, Goodreads. That would be logical. Oh, yeah, it's not long. 128 pages. So super short, and I'm excited to dive into this one tonight. It is almost 10 p.m. here. Do I have to work at 7:30 in the morning? Yes, but I've already texted my doctor for tomorrow and told her, you can't do anything crazy, because I've had enough crazy the past 2 days at work and the last week at home with Miss Ellie dislocating her leg down there. She's doing fine. She's doing well. She's on. I haven't given her any painkillers for the past 24 hours, and she's doing good. But I need a chill day, so I'm gonna need everyone just to be normal. All right, friends. I guess technically it is August 2nd now here for me, but I did finish You Are the Detective, The Creeping Hand Murder by Maureen Johnson and Jay Cooper on my sprints here tonight, and I'm giving it a 3.5. I did round it up to a 4 for both NetGalley and Goodreads because, they don't let you pick half-star ratings. But overall, I did like the book. That's why I did round it up. It has a very interesting premise because it was more like a graphic novel on the inside. There was I mean, there were blocks of text, but it was all set up as like interview reports, like pictures. It was a mixed media book, which is why I used it for your prompt. I stole your guys' prompt, by the way, if you guys didn't notice that. I did steal from you guys there. But it had this such interesting premise where it's a whodunit, but it's set up like the board game Clue. And you're given like bits and pieces to try to piece together whodunit. I will say I did wish, though, why I didn't give it 5 is because I wish there was more backstory to more of our characters. We get a very vague backstory to everything, and I kind of wanted a little bit more in that aspect, where we're given information, but it wasn't highly detailed, and I would have liked more of the forensics being involved, because it's set in 1933, and they're talking about fingerprints, and obviously their forensic science is not up to what we know today, obviously, but I kind of was more interested in like how they were running all of this, like their forensics. And I would have just liked that idea a little bit more if they included that. But overall, it was a very good book. I did enjoy myself, and it is publishing on September 16th. So my review is done. It did bring my ratio up. It was at 50% before this. I got it up to 54. However, we have regressed again. I'm back to 50%. Why am I back to 50% so quickly after finishing another book, after, I submitted a review? Well, Vanessa dropped our first Shark Tooth challenge, and it is to read a BIPOC author, and I went and requested. I didn't have anything on my current arcs that fit the prompt, so I did go ahead and request one that was a read now, so it's not really a request at that point. But I picked The Power of Med by Haziv Daiwan. It is a relatively shorter read, and we have 24 hours total to read this from the time Vanessa dropped the challenge at 9:50 p.m. So we have, I pretty much have all day. It's a relatively short one again. It is like 172 pages, and it is one that I could send to my Kindle, so I'm going to pick it up tonight and read while I get ready for like bed and stuff. And it's a self-help reference book, it says on here. Just for this, there is an easy, effective, and practical way to feel better. Just say med to what's bothering you. Our problems are big, but our minds make them even bigger than they are. The power of med is to help us reframe our problems, view them more objectively, deal with them better, and feel much better in the process. The power of med reduces anger, frustration, boredom, procrastination, envy, stress, and worry. After making short work of the negative, it allows us to attain positive states of mind, including gratitude, generosity, patience, humility, and kindness. A simple math can help us replace the negative with the positive with far-reaching results. So, like I said, it's short. This is worth 500 points if you do it in the challenge. So that's going to be my goal. After I did finish, though, The Creeping Hand Murder, I did pick up my current audiobook listen. I'm not counting it for any prompts. I'm just counting it as my page points, which is A New Lease on Death by Olivia Black. It is going well. I have to check what percentage I'm at, but I have like 4.5 hours left at normal time speed, so I want to say it's probably close to like 50-ish%. And then I've been working on my crochet blanket during it. I'm not going to pick it up off the floor because it's like kind of big, but this is the color that I'm working with right now. This is the remaining ball of yarn that I cut apart. I just like cut a chunk of it off because Shelby wanted the yarn, so I was like, here's a pile of yarn for you to play with while I work on this. So that's apart right now, but it's going well, and I'm really enjoying that one. Like, I found it on Blue Sky a few weeks ago, and I was like, ooh, that just sounds interesting. Like, it's a cozy paranormal mystery, and we're set in the perspective of one of the ghosts. So, and I mean, we flip back and forth between like the ghost and one of our other characters, but it's such an interesting premise, so I really wanted to delve more into it, and I am really enjoying it. So I'm gonna get ready for bed here, and we're gonna start our Shark Tooth challenge, and we'll go from there. I'm back. I have had like a migraine all day. It's like I accidentally triggered this latent trigger point in my back, like muscle knot, when I was trying to get one out of this shoulder, and I like reached across to like adjust the I have this like 3D massager that like will dig into your knots. And when I did this, I like pulled my shoulder blade out some, and then the muscle that runs like right underneath there, yeah, that's the one like always is prone to knots, and I accidentally activated this latent one, and then it like radiated the pain all the way up through my skull today. But it's fine, we're fine. But I did finish the Tooth Mark challenge. I think I've been saying that wrong. It's the Tooth Mark challenge, and our challenge was to read a BIPOC author book in 24 hours. And I did this. I read The Power of Meh. It was a short book, and I gave it a 3-star. If you don't live a meh lifestyle, it's definitely an interesting read. However, like most of the principles, it was a self-help book that it's like telling you about without it being preachy. I already do. Like, be chill, life, like, we only have one life. Not everything gotta be that serious, you know? Like, it's not that serious. Calm down. So I already adopted a lot of it, so I didn't really find it more like self-helpy for me in that way. But it is a lighthearted and a quick read, so I definitely like enjoyed it in that sense. It's just, you know, I already adopt quite a few of those things, so, and because I already adopted a few of those things, I didn't find it very helpful in the self-help aspect. But like I said, if you don't have that kind of lifestyle and you kind of want to go towards it or explore it more, it's definitely an interesting read. And then I did read another book. I was listening to the audio. I started it on Thursday, like right when sprints were starting. I started A New Lease on Death by Olivia Black. I have not read any of her books before. This was so good. It's a cozy paranormal mystery, and I'm a sucker for cozy paranormal mysteries, guys. I'm a huge sucker for it. So this is the first book in the series, so I have to wait till October for book 2 to come out, unfortunately. I was so disappointed when I found that out like 20 minutes ago. But we kind of get a dual perspective. We get our main character that's a breather, as one of the ghosts in the book calls them. She's not dead. And then we also get the perspective of one of the ghosts. And it ends on a cliffhanger. So our main ghost supposedly unalived herself, but she has no memory of this, and I don't feel like that's exactly uncommon in a lot of paranormal like mystery books like this, where the ghost doesn't necessarily remember how they passed. Like that's a common thing I've seen in paranormal mysteries, that like it's kind of blocked out in their head until certain things fall into place and it like unblocks the memory. So it kind of starts out with her meeting another ghost of another tenant in the building, but he like kind of disappears kind of quickly. So I have to assume he's like moved on from like this plane, and they kind of solve his mystery. But at the same point, we meet some new characters, and I feel like this is gonna span. I mean, obviously this is gonna be a series, but I feel like it's gonna span into like quite a bit, because now we're like pulling in parts of Cordelia, our ghost's like life, where she was like with a married man, and I feel like there's some stuff that's gonna come out with that in book 2, because I mean we get a little bit of it, because like Ruby, our breather, can kind of talk to Cordelia, but not really. Like they can communicate, but she can't really see Cordelia unless she's like hammered. So it's interesting. And now she's like taken over. She leased Cordelia's apartment, and then she is also now working in Cordelia's like spot where she worked, like in the same position, which I feel like the company didn't think that was weird, that like her address literally matches the last person who held the job. I feel like that's sus, but you know, what do I know? Maybe they're not paying that close attention. Maybe they don't pay attention to that kind of detail. I don't know. But I really enjoyed that one. I'm gonna give that 5 stars. That was such an enjoyable read, and it was so quick, and I really love the audiobook. And then I did go ahead and start a 4th book here for August. Do I still have like 2 outstanding books from July? Yes. And I'll just count the pages for this challenge at some point. But I'm coming for Anchored Souls here again. I'm gonna steal one of your guys' prompts again. I already stole one of your guys' prompts. I stole your bonus prompt. Now I'm going to steal a book I've been anchored to. I picked up Book Lovers by Emily Henry. I'm only at the top of chapter 2 at this point, and I have quite a few of Emily Henry's books on my shelves because I just like kept accumulating them and I haven't read them. The only one I've read is People We Meet on Vacation, which I can't remember what the title is in every other place, but the US title is People We Meet on Vacation. And I enjoyed that one, but you know, I've heard some mixed reviews about Emily Henry's works, so I'm kind of curious to see if I'll actually like any of them. And I've had this book since Christmas of 23. My youngest brother bought this for me. Okay, he didn't buy it. My little brother gave me this for Christmas in 23. I do all of his Christmas shopping for him. Like, I pay for it. So I always take him to go do his Christmas shopping. And so we walked into the bookstore because he wanted to get me a book. And I told him, you know, like, here are, like, I pointed out several books I was interested in. Told him, like, you can pick whatever one you want. And I went off into a different area of the store and he picked the book, and then he walked around like he was shoplifting because he like shoved it in his winter jacket. And then I got up to the register and we put the books down he was getting for like our sister and stuff, and like on the counter, and I was like, he has my Christmas present in his coat. I'm not supposed to know what it is. So I turned around so that he could put my book up on the counter, and then like the girls loved it and like wrapped it for him. And so theoretically I couldn't see what it is. It's like on the receipt, guys, but you know, I just shoved the receipt in my bag and we went on with our day. But this is what he got me that year for Christmas, and he is a little shit and has been giving me grief because I have not read it yet. So okay, fine, we're gonna pick this up, we're gonna read it. I've been anchored to this one for a while and we'll see if I like it. Undetermined yet based off the first 2 chapters how I'm feeling with it, but I'm hopeful, and I'm pretty sure I'm gonna get more read tonight. But I think I also want to work on my crochet blanket a little bit, so I might start my next audio, which is a NetGalley arc. I have Night Watcher. I'll put it up on the screen here because I can't remember the author off the top of my head, but it reminds me of the Night Stalker, Richard Ramirez, so I was intrigued by that aspect of it because I read a lot of true crime. I watch a lot of true crime stuff, and it's a thriller with a little bit of an edge to it. And I'm using this one for one of the Sharkbite prompts. Well, Nori, you want to come here? Shit. Well, Nori, we can't have y'all be so quiet, can we? So, there may be a team out there peacefully drifting along that may be holding the power to approximately 15,000 points. So we may want to be a little bit nice. Oh, Nori, what am I talking about? Well, our peaceful little other friends maybe aren't being so peaceful over there, huh? They may be currently holding the power to 15,000 points, to take it away from a team, distribute 15,000 points, give their points that they would actually have if they were competing to another team, take points away from someone, but all will be revealed on Monday. Now that we got that out of the way, let's talk about what I finished reading for Attacking Anchored Souls this week. First, I was listening to Night Watcher. I'm still about 60% in. I'm still really enjoying it, but that is one of my Sharkbite prompt points. So I haven't finished that one, and I'm planning on finishing it over the weekend, which we'll have another vlog for my weekend reading here come like Monday, Tuesday-ish, kind of going over what I'm doing during the Face the Kraken challenge, because the Sharkbites are not participating in the Kraken. He's keeping you guys busy for us so that we can rack up our own points on our own prompts and then spend the rest of the month attacking you guys. So put on the side burner. Not much else has happened since I haven't listened to any more of it since we last talked about it here. But I did go ahead and pick up Book Lovers, and I use this for your guys' prompt for Anchored Souls, a book I've been anchored to. I've had this one for quite a while, like I've said, and I'm not going to go too much into the book here because I do have an Emily Henry vlog coming out later this month that I go over several Emily Henry books and my thoughts on them. But I'm settling on 3.5 for this one. I kind of needed to sleep on it when I finished it pretty late. I got you guys in at the last 15 minutes. I was able to attack you guys last night. So I got that one in against you guys. 3.5 stars. It started off pretty strong. Like I was pretty much vibing with it. But then the rest of it just felt like a little too easy. And I didn't quite get the little bit of angst that was in there between our main character's sister and her husband, like what that tension was. I really didn't think it was that big of a reveal. Like I understand why our main character was upset by it, but like I don't think it was really that serious as they were making. Like it ain't that deep, it ain't that serious. So I didn't quite understand that, but I mean it wasn't like a horrible read. I enjoyed myself. It was completely enjoyable. So like 3.5 stars. Yeah, just like, yeah, I'm not mad I read it, but like it's also not the best book I've read all year, so we got that going for us. But like I said, that's pretty much all I got around to for this. I didn't submit any prompts for Sharkbite yet. I did submit some pages points for a book I had finished up, but that was about it. Not really much to say there other than I've attacked you guys a few times over the week with the books I've read, like twice. And then I did do one of the tooth mark challenges. I've kind of set out the last few because I was like, I need to finish attacking you guys and all whatnot. So you guys are getting a break from me for now because I may be back later in the month. You don't know yet. I may be back. But I'm gonna delve into my Sharkbite prompts for the weekend, and I'm being insane this weekend, and I volunteered to watch a 2 and a 3-year-old all day Sunday, so that's like great for me. I'm fantastic. Like what was I thinking when I agreed to this? Who knows? Clearly not straight. But I did get a few more approvals on NetGalley over the past week, so currently just to update my percentage, I started at 50% in the readathon, and I'm currently at 48% because like I did submit some reviews, but also I got some acceptances, and some of it's y'all's fault for being like, hey, look at this read now book. But yeah, that's what I kind of have for this week. But like I said, might want to be buddying up to a certain team right now since they hold all the power in their hands.